Name's Michael Blackgrave from San Antonio, Texas. Question basically is, how did I build Seamok? What led me to Seamok? That's going to be, I'll give you the short version. Seamok is simple, effective, aggressive methods of combate. I use the combate, Filipino, they call it combate. Basically, my whole life I've been training. My father started teaching me, he was my first self-defense instructor. He was a former 101st Airborne, and so he had, things he taught me. He'd teach his son. I wrestled, I boxed in the Army. Always ran into cats who knew stuff that I didn't know, so I just went with it. Some of the units I was in, we did hand-to-hand combat, but, nothing on a major level, but I always enjoyed it. Came out of the service, went into a career field that you need to learn how to fight. I mean, I was a bouncer, I've done security work, I bodyguarded a little bit, I've done bounty hunting, and so everything I ever knew was pretty much violence was involved with it, some form of self-defense. Over the years, I trained in Pakiti Tertia, Filipino Kali, Goju-Ryu Karate, Wing Chun. I trained a little Muay Thai. I've done Judo, American Kempo, Kali Lastrissimo. And everything I noticed in all these systems is they were redundant. There were so many redundancies all throughout the systems that they never really paid attention to. What you were doing at one, you're doing at two, but there's no explanation of why you're going from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, so everything looked the same. I noticed a lot of this stuff couldn't be done when you were live with it, when it was with a resisting opponent. So being a guy who's actually, competed in knockout karate, competed in boxing, wrestling, you start to work with a guy who's a little bit more alive and things don't happen. So when I made Seamok, I wanted to build something very simple, very concise, and easy for anybody to learn. I believe in deep end training, so when people come to me, they're amazed at how quick they can start to move their body, their feet, their shoulders. Just learning how to open up the entire body. And so when I built Seamok, I took everything I knew from these systems, poured it in, shook it up, threw it out, and that's what was left, was Seamok. And so I built it in 5 simple levels where people can understand it. Very simple, very concise, and they just get it. We use a lot of weaponry. We use a single stick. We use force fists, knees, ground fighting, pistols, rifle, shotgun. But what the system is really known for is a Bowie knife. And everything we do, we can do with the small knife, but this Bowie knife is signs of Texas. And I'm Texas through and through, and I just believe if we're going to be going to war with a big old knife in our hand, make it a Bowie. This one here was forged by my good friend Eric Cashin at Confederate Forge, so if you need one, call him. And it's just everything you want to do with it. This is the type of a blade that not only seeks bone, but it seeks flesh. Light, easy to use. And so in that regard, we call the Bowie, that's the Seamok blade of choice. I mean, if I had a choice of any knife to go to fight with, it would be a Bowie knife.